When the COVID-19 pandemic first erupted, Chinese authorities stated Wuhan's Hunan seafood market to be the source of the virus. And at that very point, even the World Health Organization backed this theory and firmly stuck to this stand. In February 2021, when a World Health Organization team visited Wuhan to determine the emergence of the virus, the entire team was very tightly controlled by the Chinese authorities. And since then, this claim that coronavirus might have been engineered in a lab started to gain confidence as well as credence. An article by science journalist Nicholas Wade presents a very strong case for lab-engineered virus theory. It is being speculated that the Wuhan Institute of Virology had in the past collaborated with the Chinese army on a project to investigate the animal viruses. And this is the case that raises the possibility that coronavirus might have been one of the byproducts of a state-sponsored biological weapon program. Now, before we dwell more into the biological weapons, let's first see a brief history that biological warfare has had so far. The first recorded instance of their use dates back to the 14th century BC. The Empire of Hattusa used diseased carriers to infect the invading armies with tularemia. In the 4th century BC, Scythian archers were known to dip their arrows in a mixture which was made of decomposing cadavers and blood. Also, if you take a look at the entire colonial era, it's filled with examples where biology was used to wipe out the adversaries or enemies. By the end of the 19th century, there was a mark in the turning point due to advances in microbiology that enabled large-scale production as well as dispersal of deadly pathogens. The emerging threat posed by the biological weapons influenced the 1925 Geneva Protocol, which prohibited the usage of both chemical as well as biological weapons. But the 1925 Geneva Protocol, however, placed no restrictions on the research or on the development of the biological weapons and was technically a no first use agreement only. During the Second World War, Germany, United Kingdom, United States of America and Japan had operational biowarfare programs, and only Japan was using their biological weapons offensively during the war. During the Second World War or post the Second World War, both US and Soviet Union accelerated their biological weapon program. And in 1969, the US unilaterally terminated its biological weapons program, and this was accompanied by discussions on the United Nations Disarmament Forum, which resulted in Biological and Toxins Weapons Convention, or the BWC. The BWC entered into force in the year 1975, prohibiting the development, the production, the acquisition, the stockpiling and transfer and use of biological and toxin weapons. It currently has 183 state parties and 4 signatory parties. If we take into account the articles under this treaty, specifically from Article 4 to 7, they form the central point of compliance monitoring mechanisms and place obligations on state parties to ensure the national measures to seek implementation of this treaty, extend their cooperation towards it, provides every state party with the right to approach the United Nations Security Council if they find any other party breaching the BWC, and obligates assistance to state parties adversely impacted by the violation of the BWC. Now, from all of this, it's quite evident how the BWC places the onus of compliance on state parties. In regards to ensuring compliance, absence of a formal verification protocol and administering body meant that the convention is highly ineffective. At present, the world is combating a raging pandemic, which is most likely to have originated in a state-funded Chinese laboratory that was a part of the military-led biological weapon program. And while the convention already provides state parties with the right to approach at the United Nations Security Council if they find any other party breaching the BWC, but China in this case, which is accused of breaching the BWC, is a veto-wielding member at the United Nations Security Council. At China not vetoing any proposal to investigate the alleged breach at the Wuhan Institute of Virology is not a possibility. Over the years, there have been a number of confidence-building measures or CBMs that have been adopted by various state parties to strengthen the convention even further. But the participation of state parties in all these CBMs is quite low. The absence of an institutional body that can verify the submitted information to the convention remains to be the biggest weakness of the convention so far. And certain states have used all these existing weaknesses like this one of the convention to further advance their biological weapon programs. And this pandemic, with all the evidences and reasons, has shown us that biology can be a highly potent weapon when in the wrong hands. and thus there should be a concerted push for the strengthening of the biological weapons disarmament regime.